refined algorithm that we're now going to have a quick look at is tries to be less wasteful in translating things to CPS form, and it is good. It's good enough in practice. And also, when the Racket people do this, they actually do this inside Racket in their web server. They do this exact same rewrite, but they also do it in a restricted way where they know what they don't have to rewrite. And so there's a whole little science going on in how you can have your own set of rewrite rules that give you what you want in terms of rewriting without getting this exponential explosion of lambdas. So to understand this particular algorithm, I have to give a little bit of terminology. So just for here, we're calling expression simple if it has no function calls except inside the body of the lambda. So you have some big old expression, and so if the expression started out with f of 3, or maybe it has like if f of 3 and then something else and then something else, then it would not be simple because there's a function call here that is not inside the lambda. All right, that's definition number 1. Definition number 2. A term is in tail position if it's in one of the following locations. And this is actually something that's going to look familiar to you. So we're saying that the then and the else parts of an if are considered tail position. And that's because if you have a recursive call there in either one of those positions, then you can replace it by a good. And the body of a let or a letrec is in tail position. And the body of a function is called in tail position. That's just a definition. And now we're saying that an expression is in tail form if all non-tail terms are simple. And in that case, that's going to be good enough to apply tail recursion optimization. So with those definitions, we now have this refined algorithm that, and I've tried to strip it down to the basics. There's some complexities with letrec. So, and you're actually going to be implementing that one in the next homework, and it's reasonably practical. So we have a procedure called fix that takes an expression, any old expression that might be made of lambdas or lets or letrecs or ifs or function applications, and fix takes such an expression and it modifies it into something that takes an extra parameter k and then recursively goes in and applies the CPS thing, which I'm going to define in the next quote. The CPS takes an existing continuation function, it's really the function, any old function really, and it takes an expression, and now it rewrites E to use it. And it's recursively defined by these 4 steps. They're kind of messy steps. So if E is simple, we've defined simple in the previous slide, it means something being simple, then to rewrite, then the expression is rewritten in this way. You call K, you apply this fix thing, and that's it. So if all sub-expressions are simple and E is not simple, then E must be a function call. I understood this at some point. So we have E, it's made up of a bunch of lists. We say everything simple, 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 simple. Oh yeah, and then if E is not simple, that meant it had to have a function call in a non-tail position. And if everything else is simple, then that must mean that function call is simple. All right, so it's a function call, and then it says, apply fix to the function applied to the argument and do this magic transform. And then if it has a non-simple sub-expression only in a tail position, then it says do this. So at this point here, our eyes are going to glaze over, and it gets worse. We're just going to have to look at an example here. So it has these very abstract rewriting rules. And there's, like I said, there's more to come that we don't exactly need here. So let's just try it step by step to take this thing and rewrite it using those steps, and we'll just have to go back and forth. I still have a few minutes, right? So over here, I've rewritten now I want to compute 3 factorial with a, so you now again have this complexity that I have just like in that homework assignment, where I have to package everything together in one expression. Because I'm operating on this abstract nonsense, not on something that's inside bracket. So I have to bundle everything together. So here I do it with this left rack again. So I'm defining what factorial is, and then I say with that definition I wish to know what's 3 factorial. And so my hope is that inside this rewriting process, the factorial is going to get rewritten into continuation passing style. All right, so this is my entire expression, and I'm going to again feed it the identity function to deliver the answer. And now I need to find out which of the CPS rules now applies. Okay, now I wish I could see them both at once. Actually, maybe I can do that. Three. Continuations 3, continuations 3. Tiled like this, look at that. All right, so which of these 4 rules is now going to apply to this lectrec? Is it simple? She says no. What does it mean to be simple?
It should not have to call to a function and it has a factory.
Okay, and it does. It's not simple because, but it's in a tail position.
Yeah, function calls except inside the body.
So you are calling factorial of A, right? Inside.
All right, simple if it has no function calls except inside the body of a lambda. Okay, I agree with you. It does have a function call that's not inside the body of a lambda. And that is here. Not simple. All right. Are all sub-expressions simple? Well, the conclusion says, and then it must be a function call. Well, it's not a function call because it says letrec. And in fact, this thing is a non-simple sub-expression. All right. If it has non-simple sub-expressions only in a tail position, well, this thing is non-simple. Let's look at the other sub-expressions that we have. Well, this thing is a lambda, so that's simple. And so it does, in fact, have a non-simple sub-expression in a tail position. So it says now I should apply fix to the non-tail positions and CPS to the tail positions. So I guess what it says is I'm supposed to apply
Fix to factory. Yeah.
fix to the so fix here and CPS inside here. Okay, so let's see, what did I do? So I applied fix here. Fix adds a continuation, changing lambda xb to lambda xk CPS ke.
Wait, if fix is applied to non-tail position, right? And factory is tail position.
This is the non. Oh, I see. Okay. I agree with that.
But lambda can have, oh, it's not in the tail position. Oh, it's not in the tail position.
should have written down which rule I used.
These are indirect. Oh, I see. So that's why it's not.
Oh dear.
But this is also not true, right? This is not a same of fix, but not of factorial. We're not considering this sub-expression is factorial.
Tail, fix to the non-tail.
Yeah.
Yes. Why would I put the fix in here? Oh yeah. Look. So let's do this. So we said we apply CPS here. That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
And we apply fix over here.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's do that. So we need to apply CPS to fact3. Well, fact3 is a function call. So that gets us into this situation. All sub-expressions are simple, and it's not simple. So the CPS of fact3 is fix fact of fix3, because that's what it says here. Okay, so I'm using this rule here and applying it here. So now let's see, am I correctly applying fix over here? And so it adds a continuation to all simple things in here. It changes lambda xb to lambda xk CPS ke. So we had a lambda in here, it added a k, and so it is in fact exactly where it's at. So I really did apply fix to this and applied CPS to it. Now what did I do in the next step? Now I have a bunch of CPSs that I need to, and I say here body, where body is this the body of the factorial function. So now I must have, so fix of fact and fix of 3 don't do anything because they are simple. There's nothing else to change, so they go away. And now we have some work to do over here. I now have to compute CPS of this if. Okay, and
Body is the if.
yeah, body is the whole if. And so what do? I apply I think so. So the third case I apply fix everywhere, which would be here, but apply CPS in here. And so the product is the thing that needs to be transferred. All right. So fix over here does, I don't know why it does. I'll come back to that in a minute. So then we now we want to rewrite the CPS in here. And now why am I using? Now I'm using the fourth rule that says we have the non-simple sub-expression in a non-tail position. And the reason I have that is that this call to fact here. That's the non-simple one. The function calls are not simple. It's not in the tail position because it's buried inside stuff. So when it's buried inside stuff, then I'm supposed to take the thing that is being buried, that's in this case the fact. I'm going to say, well, just make this thing into a box, call the box R. This means substitute R for the box, and then make these two CPS. Then make this transformation. CPS lambda R. I'm just reading this off. CPS K. What is C? C is the thing. Oh, I see. C is the thing outside the box. So it's multiply n with the box, which I have here, except call the box R. And that's what it is. And S is the thing that's inside the box, which is the fact minus n1. So that's what it's. All right, well, we're going to go over this again on Thursday. Hopefully the second time we look at it, it becomes a little less mysterious.